We're prepared to talk to you about Trump and Xi, but just want to get your reaction to what's happened now. It's perhaps unsurprising that we see a little bit of a knee-jerk reaction in safe havens, but just give me your thoughts at the moment with the information that we do have at hand.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. Great to be with you. The attack on an airfield in Syria is really not surprising in the circumstances, and it's not the first US attack in Syria, so this is not unprecedented. I think that the move to safe havens is more just in case anything goes wrong. If this turns out to be a pretty surgical strike against the Syrian military, then I think the market will get over it and will recover again. Really, the market is only worried about something going wrong in the execution here. And, that's not most likely outturn. So I think this may be quite temporary in terms of its market impact.
Right. I mean, this is quite I guess, a bold move, but also a bit of a challenge for a very new administration. Certainly, do you see that as a test of the new administration? And is there, I guess, more of a risk that we might see more of a market reaction, given that they are, at this point, untested? I mean, General Mattis clearly isn't, and he was the one who was giving advice to President Trump about the possible, options in dealing and responding to the chemical attacks in Syria.
Yeah, the problem for the administration is that although they've now filled most of the top jobs and most of the cabinet level roles, there's a lot of jobs below that level that need to be filled. And so they're operating a bit light in terms of ability to get the job done. And that's inevitable to an extent with a new administration. But I think that's one of the reasons why the testing early on could prove quite dangerous. You had the same with North Korea's missile launch earlier in the week, and that was plainly timed to coincide with the summit between Presidents Trump and Xi. So if I look at the way that the administration is being tested, so far so good, but you have to be concerned that at this early stage, when the senior people are not yet used to working with each other, and when a lot of the jobs down below them are not yet filled, that is problematic. But, this applies to trade as well. I'm hoping that there won't be too much of substance coming out of Mar-a-Lago, because I'm not sure the US is yet equipped to execute on substantial moves.
Jim, I just want to bring up this chart because, I was going to talk to you about risk reversals anyway, or risk appetite, risk sentiment, if you will. 75.57 on the terminal. It shows Aussie yen options that have been on the move. And essentially, if you look at this popular carry trade, borrowing Japan to lend in Australia, it can, to some traders, indicate broad sentiment when it comes to risk. There is an argument that one of our Markets Live bloggers made, is that you're seeing so many trades range-bound at the moment because they're waiting for a breakout to the downside. Is that the kind of sentiment that you're seeing? Because if nothing else, it feels like sentiment is fragile with the potential to go in either direction at the moment for the market.
Yeah. Heidi, I don't see the downside bias you're describing. And, the big geopolitical change, obviously, is the new administration in the United States. And some of the things that candidate Trump said could actually be quite positive if well executed. I'm thinking here of deregulation, lower taxes, infrastructure spend, fiscal stimulus. That could be quite positive if it gets executed right. Now, clearly, candidate Trump had some other ideas that could be negative for the economy, like deportations, tariffs, and so on. I think that the fear is that what the Trump administration does isn't bias the economy positively or negatively. It's simply to expand the funnel of doubt with the possibility of strong performance and the risk of some things going wrong. And with that expanded funnel of doubt, you're going to get the fragile sentiment you describe in terms of risk on, risk off. But I don't think it necessarily means that investors are biased downwards. I think we have to see how this plays out. And, everyone will be looking at the statement tomorrow from Mar-a-Lago to see what the summit produces. I would hope not very much. I was quite encouraged by President Trump's, making nice, not saying too much before the dinner. I think if you see more of that tomorrow, the market may have a relief rally near term. Whereas if they argue substantially about something, which I don't think they're going to, that could lead the market to be more risk off.